Another note? Piece of paper? It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding. Junpei picked it up. What do we got? This is what it said. Fact number 1. The Nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. Yeah, I already know that. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Yeah, I know that already as well. In Nirvana. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO, Ace? Oh my god! Ace knows so much about the ship! Oh my god! That means Ace is Zero! He's the mastermind! I was right to suspect him! I think. I'm jumping to conclusions. Who are the other 3 people? Gentaro Hongo? Is that his real name? Cradle Pharmaceutical... Then maybe it was Ace who killed Clover. Ace was in the freezer in this other pathway. Cradle Pharmaceutical Chief of Staff. Nagisa Nijisaki. I don't know who the Cradle Pharmaceutical Chief of Staff is. I only know one Cradle Pharmaceutical guy. Cradle Pharmaceutical R&D Supervisor. Teruaki Kubota. Oh, and that's right, the thing from that he knew about, that he, his Sapporo or whatever, it was just on this ship. He might have just had it on him, but it was on the ship otherwise, in which case that makes more sense. Teruaki Kubota. I'm not sure if these are names of other people that fall on the ship with us, or if only one of them is Ace and the rest are just meaningless, but, majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceutical, Kagech... Oh my god, these Japanese names. I apologize for all the butchering I am doing. Kagechika Musashido. So I guess that means Ace is Zero, the one who's throwing suspicion away? That would make sense. I don't know, but... Oh man. Really? Is it this simple? Do I get it now? I must punish them. For the innocent lives they sacrificed. Or wait a second, what? Who must punish them? What are you talking about? Did someone leave this note here? That isn't them? That is the real Zero? And that's why Ace is in the game? So Ace held the game 9 years ago. And then put us back in here. But then what about the rest of us? This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. I don't know who Zero is. I guess it's not Ace, but Ace is still responsible, at least for the other Nonary game. That's what this is saying. What about the rest of us then? Clover and Snake were in the previous one, maybe Santa as well. So what about the rest of us? Oh my god, I don't know. Too many theories. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, 7, and June. He looked at each one of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest. But who is Zero? If it's not Ace. I don't think it's Santa either. Is it one of us, really? Maybe it's Santa, I don't know. Maybe it's Ace. But I don't know, I don't think it's Ace because of what the note just said. And Santa, I don't think he would have tried to get out that way if he was Zero. I mean, maybe, but... Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me? Come with you? I want all of you to go to the big hospital room. Why? There's something I want to be sure of. What do you mean? What do you want to be sure of? I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit. Wait, then you're saying... Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover, although Snake isn't dead as far as we know. The atmosphere in the room changed, although I think he's saying that just to, keep up the ruse that everyone else has. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice. Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there. Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. Still, even if Ace is the mastermind, even if he's the one maybe behind the previous Nonary game or behind this one, he can't be Zero, because Zero was the one talking about that stuff. So, man, this is crazy. It's 5 o'clock. They had only an hour left. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Slowly, one by one, they follow Junpei out of the bedroom. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around. Ace, 7, Lotus. Ace, 7, and Lotus? 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. Could you please place your palms on the red? Huh? Why? If we need to go to the shower room, why don't we just... No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door. Why? Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover. Junpei's implication was clear, and 7 understood perfectly. Ugh. Fine. What about you, Ace? Lotus? Very well. Sure. What's going on here? I don't really get this. Quickly, they pressed the palms onto the red. If this is door 3, then it should open. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door, as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks showed in the red's display panel. Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the panel. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it, instead only brought his bracelet near it. What? The 4th asterisk appeared. Just as Junpei had expected. It was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so long as the bracelet was brought near it. Oh, so does that mean... What does that mean? Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. Oh, so when I was talking about earlier, with Ace, yeah, because Ace, he just got the 9 bracelet, together with Snake and his own, that makes the 3. The problem with that is, Snake isn't actually dead, right? So what does that mean? Unless... On the door shut, unify. Unless the Snake that we were with was never the real Snake. Maybe that's it? No, I don't know. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Santa and June had joined them as well. It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him curiously. Curiosity playing on their faces. 4 along, the other 3 did as well. Clearly, they were all expecting some answers. Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation. Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something? What is it? Do you know who I am? What? What kind of question? Just answer it, please. Who am I? Wait, what? You're Junpei. Of course, who else would you be? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. What? Actually... What? Oh! This was from the freaking other playthrough, right? I know what he's doing. He's tricking him because he has the perception wrong, right? What? Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. I know what he's doing, Junpei quickly continued. The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap. That's ridiculous! Impossible! So you're saying I'm not Santa? Of course you aren't! Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? If you were Santa, the door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital root would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3. It's 5, right? Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei. You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone the bracelet, the bright red 5 on his wrist. Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was, ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered, if you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. As their justification for why I'm not Santa, I mean. The first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face. Ace, you have prosopag... I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Am I right? Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth, so did Ace. He could hear a sudden buzz of conversation from the others. Prosopaganosia. What's that? He heard Lotus begin to explain it to them. Ace glanced at them, and turned back toward Junpei and sighed. Very well. I confess. I have that. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this was about? You want to mock me for my disorder? No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has it. What? Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds. I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace, who killed him. Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath. That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you... I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us. Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued. Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. So that you don't go in door number 3, because you can't go in door number 3 with the combination you have. If you do go in door number 3, then you'll see that the dead body isn't there yet, because I have to go place it while you're doing your shenanigans. Holy shit. Which means Snake is dead, he killed him, hid him somewhere, waited for you guys to pass through, then used his bracelet along with the Knight's Man's to hide a body, but not Snake's body? Oh, what? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, or, okay, maybe not, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind. Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism. Altruism, huh? Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting, and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear. You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room. What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have? Really? Yes, yes! Pleading was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled the piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it off into the darkness. Oh, well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have that. Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person? Junpei, they call that prejudice. No? I'm not that stupid. Then why? Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's. What? What? Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. If the body wasn't Snake's... I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake. Oh god. No, that's impossible. Ace had started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring. Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have that. If that were the case, he would have immediately realized that Guy X wasn't Snake. So Snake switched clothes with someone else? Or... then Snake is... what? Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have that, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake? I can think of at least 2 motives. 1. Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So, to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2. Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Oh, right, because you did hold the other game. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't even let your guard down. Ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you... Hey, hold on a minute. For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone besides Ace spoke. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him? Look at this. He handed Santa a small piece of paper. Santa squinted at the paper and began to read. The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Crano Pharmaceutical CEO, Gentaro Hongo. What is this? Slowly Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's. It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first-class cabin. Then suddenly... Give me a break! Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury tinged with desperation. I have so many questions that I still don't know the answers to. That paper's a lie! Someone's trying to frame me! Me. You said me, right? Junpei's eyes narrowed, and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply. His eyes flickered off of Junpei to anything else. Wouldn't that mean that you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical? Or am I mistaken? It was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face, and as he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide. Very well, I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Oh, I haven't heard you swear yet. Someone's trying to set me up, you see. First of all, Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did all this by myself. Think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake, it was Guy X. I don't care who it was! You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. What? 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 Huh? What? Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. You did? Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then. I took this. Junpei put his hand into his pocket. No, you couldn't have. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. 1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah. It'd be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. I was right, you know all about this goddamn boat. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Oh, hey! You've got a different face on, don't you? You know what they say about nice guys? You gotta make them nice so that you don't think they're evil. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Lotus? She jokes about killing people. Clover? She's a bit rude as well. You know. Santa's kind of a jerk, and, you know, in the other playthrough, it wasn't the best outcome, but, you, on the other hand, you're a nice guy. Why are you so nice? Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the Red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin, on B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Yeah, I know so. I thought so as well. Yeah, I thought of that really early on. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root. 1 plus 9 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. 2 plus 9 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Yeah, I thought about this way earlier, buddy. I mentioned this before I even got through like the first half dozen parts, I think. As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. Maybe you tricked him then. You tricked him so you could obtain his bracelet and not have to worry about the baggage, quote-unquote. Ace successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had been holding. Oh! Oh! That's what he used to kill Clover! He slipped both of them into his chest pocket and left as quickly as he'd come. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That was when he met Guy X and mistook him for Snake. Snake was on his way to the large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure it stayed that way. He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped, he walked up behind him quietly and called out, "Snake!" The man turned to look at Ace. He said nothing, no words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged? It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain the man was Snake. He knew Snake had been a part of the Nonary game 9 years before. Snake hadn't recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Why then hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the Nonary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. Perhaps his lack of sight had prevented him from recognizing Ace. Perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. He waved his own bracelet in front of the red, and finally grabbed Snake's quote-unquote arm, and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. Door opened. Ace threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. "81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away. After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold, and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed and spoke. "Ace, did you kill Clover?" "Yes." "Why? Why did you kill her?" "She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous." "Then that is the reason you kept eavesdropping on me and Clover. You didn't want me to find it out as well, whatever it was he told her. Oh my god! I was right. When you kept barging in on us, it wasn't coincidence. That one time you said you needed me for something important, it seemed like you could have solved the puzzle on your own. At the time, I'm just like, oh, I'm the protagonist, I have to do it, of course. But it's more than that. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere. Seven and Lotus interrupted. Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious. Yes, I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. What? Huh? But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was therefore desperate to find her, and at last I did in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it? See what? Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you? Huh? What are you talking about? Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover? What? Nothing. There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the ninth man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone. Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way. You aren't going anywhere. He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard. She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. Gosh darn it! Who is Guy X? Ugh! That was how I killed Clover. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show. You son of a bitch! Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. You shut up, Santa. You don't have the room to speak. You didn't kill anyone, but you might as well have. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing, with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed. I admit it, I've lost. I have lost, completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room. If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly Junpei remembered the paper he found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. What could this mean then? Is it Snake? No. Is it Clover? I don't get it. I was thinking it might be Santa, because he was in the game before, right? And his sister died. But the problem with that is he wanted to bring Ace out with him. He should have just left him in the ship. I mean, he may not have known, but if he was Zero, he would have known. So, that innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. Zero. He remembered other words. What he'd heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. Seven. Lotus. Zero is one of us. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. No way! There's no way! Really? I was saying from the very beginning, it's way too obvious if Snake is the mastermind. But I also said if Snake is alive, then he's the mastermind, so that meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. If he was Zero, surely he had lied about many other things. Was he watching them? Then why wouldn't he get Clover? Did he not care about her? I don't know.